It's okay. You can do a show without a drink. I'll drink more for you.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome everybody to Android Coliseum's Hangout show. This is number 111, and for those of you who are Lord of the Ring fans, and remember Bilbo Baggins' birthday, his 11th birthday. So this is our 11th show.
It is
111. So wow, this has been great. I mean, 111 shows. Always lots to talk about. And this week, as much as we said it was a kind of slow week, but Monday was just packed full of some news, and so we got a lot to really chat about here. Plus, we've been really talking a lot about this giveaway we're going to do. So stay tuned. We'll talk all about that giveaway. It's going to be some excitement. We're stoked about it. We really want to thank our partners in that. But just let's introduce who's here. Myself, I'm Ryan Moore here at Android Coliseum. We'll do from Martin next.
Hey, Martin here from Ottawa.
And Sylvain from Wainwright.
All right, and Sylvain will keep us up with the drum rolls and the
I will try.
motions. Has to make some lame jokes here and there because we'll make lame jokes. Please,
Hey, it does happen,
I make lame jokes. That's what happens when you become a dad. You do dad jokes. All right, so let's get straight into this here. So, started off this week with some OnePlus news. So, Martin, you want to talk about that?
Sure. News from last week, or this week-ish, depending on how you want to look at it, is OnePlus One had issues with shipping over to Canada, and apparently the logistics have been fixed. They're shipping now back to Canada, and there was also some issues with the pricing. So, from what I understand and what I can see, is the pricing for getting a OnePlus One is now more expensive in Canada than what it used to before. Exactly what the price is, I can't really comment, but that's what it is at this point. There's also something else in the news. Is for some reason people have noticed that the CM12S for the OnePlus One has been stopped. The reason for that is they want to include an OK feature into the phone. So they want to repackage the entire thing and ship it out instead of just doing an OTA.
Yeah,
That is totally wrong.
Yeah,
They
just to
should do
say,
the OTA for everybody and do another OTA. That's what people want. They want updates. They want features as they come out. Don't wait. Just push it out.
well, and what about the guys that have the update already applied? It could be a nice small OTA that would apply just to add that OK OnePlus. That's all they want to add, right?
Yeah.
They could add that tiny little OTA update later, but the fact is, people would have to, download this one and wait and then do a whole new thing. It just seems a bit of weird. I don't know. Now, the question, though, Sylvain, is seeing as you have the OnePlus, are you still contemplating 12 or CM12?
Absolutely not. I'm happy with the Oxygen.
Oxygen seems to be doing it. It's a nice looking build, so
Yeah.
really cool.
There's nothing
All right.
else I need right now, so it's all there.
That's good then.
It's
All right,
funny
let's
that-
take a look at some more topics here. So this week we also been hearing a fair bit about the Sony Z4. Sony, as we remember, does their rollouts of devices in 6 months intervals instead of waiting one whole year like the Samsungs or LGs or HTCs. They do in a 6-month rollout. So 6 months ago we saw the Z3 come out, and now we're seeing the Z4, which was announced in Japan. And people are giving it a lot of beef about, it's not really much different than the Z3. I don't know reason why people would want to have this redundancy or whatever. I don't know, personally, because it is only a 6-month turnaround. There's not much you can really innovate within 6 months in terms of like a big spec bump or whatever. But it's interesting, and it was stuff that they didn't include. Like, for example, not including a mag link for connector for their the charging. That was kind of odd. But again, this is just Japan only. Now, whether or not we get something different, I'm not sure. But I would assume we would get the same model. Now, Martin, you have the Z2, and I know Thomas had the Z3, and I reviewed the Z3. Your thoughts on the Z4?
My thought on that is, from the conversation I've been having with other people, is the North American and Europe will get a different version of what's been released in Japan. From what I understand, it's a lower-end spec device that was released for Japan.
So you're saying that we might get something entirely different for this?
Yep. and they're definitely going with the Snapdragon 810 processor, which does not overheat like other people have been mentioning, and does not have the same errors or CPU lag that people have been reporting. For some reason, it's not the same 810 Snapdragon chipset.
Okay. So yeah, so we'll see what happens when it comes to the Canada. I mean, I personally assume that if this is what they're releasing in Japan, we might get the same exact model here in Canada. That's my assumption, but I guess
We'll
that's
have to
wrong.
see.
But yeah, I guess one of those things we'll just have to wait and see.
Definitely.
And apparently you were right, Martin. I did not update the website for our Hangout page. I swear I had, but I just did it now. So those of you who are just tuning in, you can still go to the Hangout page on our website and see the correct link for the event, correct link for the YouTube. So sorry about that. Hope it fixes for you now. Okay,
No
so
problem. I posted the updated link to the people that didn't have it.
perfecto. Okay, so that's the Sony Z4 coming out. Speaking of other devices and stuff like that, we're looking for right now for an update for Android Wear, not just the
Definitely.
app, because that app just came out and didn't have an update for the app. But we're looking for some firmware updates for the phones or the watches themselves. They're going to add some new features. And Martin, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, the new feature that's been highly talked about lately is having Wi-Fi support on the 360. From what I understand, nowhere was it mentioned that the Moto 360 had Wi-Fi support, and this came to a shock for a lot of people. So a lot of people are looking forward to getting the firmware update on their device and see what that cloud sync solution is with the Wi-Fi and the new updated Android Wear software on their phones. And if you do load the APK, you'll notice quite a few changes. Has a more googly style to it with the cards value to them, and some nifty little new features that you can have on your device as adding extra wearable devices to it and switch between them. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I've loaded the APK already on my phone, but I am wishing I could actually have the firmware update and see what the Wi-Fi thing is all about.
Yeah, because I'm very interested about what this means by Wi-Fi, like in terms of is it going to use Wi-Fi only if your phone isn't around, or will it use Wi-Fi whenever it can? So that's kind of my interesting thing to see. When will it decide to use Wi-Fi or not? Like, will it? Because if it's going to use Wi-Fi whenever, like if I use like the OK Google command and it does a search for it, is it using Wi-Fi or is it using the Bluetooth share? So if it's using Wi-Fi, I'm assuming that Wi-Fi be a little more battery intensive than the Bluetooth. So
I hope it doesn't use the Wi-Fi
It's
all the
my
time.
it's my understanding that Wi-Fi has always been on. It hasn't even been turned off. We just don't have the option right now available on the firmware.
well, I'm wondering like once it comes in, because it turns out not just the Moto 360 has Wi-Fi, but
A few other devices.
if you tear down the Gear Live, there was a Wi-Fi chip built inside that too. Same with the Zen Watch, there's a Wi-Fi chip in that. So apparently those two will be confirmed to having that Wi-Fi feature. Just the LG G Watch and the G Watch R won't have Wi-Fi, which I'm okay with, to be honest with you. The only thing where it would be neat is if I had Wi-Fi is if I was at the coffee shop and I left my phone in the car and I wanted to do a OK Google thing then. But I mean, the other features you're going to be looking at that you can see in all devices, you're going to have a little card app drawer, a little mini app drawer for some of your apps. It'll be a little easier to load a few things. You'll have tilt control, so you can scroll by tilting your wrist. You can scribble on it to do emoji. So those are some neat things. I mean, I don't know if I ever use that. The biggest I think was just this Wi-Fi feature, which would be kind of cool. All right, so yeah, so that was kind of neat. Just realized that it took me having to go to a few of the teardowns on iFixit to see, hey, the Moto 360, they did notice that it had the Wi-Fi chip. Hey, the Gear Live, hey, they noticed it did have that Wi-Fi chip built in.
Exactly.
So it's not just the Smartwatch 3 that they obviously touted it, but the other ones also had it built in.
Yeah.
So whether or not they can hopefully take advantage of that. So speaking of updates, or question?
Oh no, go ahead.
All right, speaking of updates, the Galaxy S4 this week also got its Lollipop update. So those of you still rocking the Galaxy S4, reminds me I should go upstairs and fix my wife's phone because she doesn't have enough space on her phone to do the Lollipop update. So Gotta remind her to clear some space out. It's almost a fair, like I want to say it's about a gig, she said, of a file that it needs to have free to do that update. She takes a lot of pictures, so doesn't have that space. But anyways, so that got a Lollipop. Today, I quietly weeped in a corner for a little bit when Google announced Project Fi. This has long been talked about, the idea that Google would be its own carrier, its own wireless service, and they officially announced it today. So they've partnered with a bunch of different carriers out there to use their networks. Now, currently, you can only use the Motorola Nexus 6, because apparently only the Moto Nexus 6 has the special radio jumping capability to jump between the different ones. So I don't know why that's any different, but right now they're saying only the Moto Nexus 6 can do this. But the idea being is that you now have Google as your carrier. You pay a base $20 a month, and then $10 for every gig you'd want. And now this is the cool thing. If you don't use, let's say you bought a 3 gig plan and you only used 2 gigs, you would get a $10 credit for next month. That is pretty cool. I mean, for me, I usually, and that's like, a little bit of change I'd have at the end of every month. But what I like is that you could go to Canada. If you're in the States, you can go to Canada or wherever and use it internationally. And the charging for roaming data is the same as if you were at home. There's no extra charge for your data.
So is there any minutes that you have to use, or is it all VoIP?
Unlimited national minutes. So across the U.S., you'd have unlimited national. You'd have unlimited texting, not only national but also international texting. So I mean, the plan I have right now, a 3 gig plan, it would cost me $50. What I really love about it, it's about the same nickels and dimes between what I'm paying right now. I have a pretty good plan. I mean, yeah, I would get a bonus that if I'm not using my full 3 gigs, I get a credit for next month. But I think the coolest thing about it is then that I can pick up on my computer and see my text messages. I could grab my tablet and see my text messages, because I guess it's using the old Google Voice network. So it depends on what device you're on. Because that's a sad thing is I put my phone down and I get a text message and I'm like, I'm on the computer. I don't want to stop using the computer, go over to my phone, pick it up, respond to the text message, put it down. It'd be so much easier for me just to alt tab over, type the text message back, and that way I go. And yes,
okay, so what's for us here in Canada?
Nothing. Exactly.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
one of the unfortunate things is, don't expect it to come to Canada. Google said it will not be coming to Canada.
Because it's invite only right now too.
It's invite only in the U.S., but it also won't be coming to Canada because they can't establish a network they would need to in Canada because it's not been allowed to.
Well, that's the thing it's not a matter of that Google won't come to Canada. It's Rogers, Telus, and Bell won't play nice with them.
The telco consortium.
We call them Roboless.
But they're also part of what it's called in Canada, the telco consortium, and they basically majority control everything. And what the decision of the CRTC is almost at that point, because they all sit on the board of directors. Does that improve your perspective on things?
I know it already. But I don't care if it was Google or just some other company comes into Canada with this kind of plan. That would be the plan for me.
Right now, the closest thing that we could have to something similar to like T-Mobile in the U.S. is Wind here in Canada. If they were to offer Canadian roaming at no extra charges, I would switch.
But, and again, the people right now in the States I'm talking to who are excited about it or not excited about it, their big concern is that, I have to use the Moto Nexus 6. Why do I have to use the Nexus 6? Really, there's no reason why. Who knows why? If there's an official band thing in the phone, I don't think so. But I don't know. Let's move around. Yeah. Okay, so last week or a couple weeks ago, I talked about how my YouTube for my Google TV has stopped working, and I updated to the new lean back model. Well, apparently the stopgap fix I'm used with uploading previous APK to continue it working. Apparently that's going to be going away. The API level for YouTube for older devices is going to actually be removed. So if you have an older device, potentially some devices may not be allowed to be running on YouTube anymore. Now, whether or not that means I can load the app up still and I just won't be able to see any YouTube, I don't know. But I know they already tried to push me onto a newer version or whatever, or onto the web version. So I don't know. I'm really sad if that's the truth, because again, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, how full-fledged the YouTube app is on Google TV versus some of the new lean-back stuff or the web stuff. It's just not going to be, won't cut it. So I'm hoping that's not true. If you have an older device out there, you might want to take a look at that. Yeah, and they're pushing ads now in Chromecast.
That's so annoying.
My Nexus player, I have to wait for the ad and the YouTube for Google TV was just so much nicer, and let's hope that stays. If not, I'll have to find a way to route it to at least I had Google TV version 3. So if you have Google TV version 1 or 2, you will die. It will die at the end of April. But if it's used version 3 or 4, apparently will continue to be used. We'll have to wait and see the end of the month, see what happens to my device.
Interesting.
Speaking of older devices, Martin just recently resurrected one of his older devices and put Android on it. You want to talk about that?
It's not really an old device. It's an i7 with 12 gigs of RAM running an SSD. I just decided to load the x86 project on it, running Lollipop, and I did a couple benchmarks, which I posted online. They were all maxed out, severely maxed out. So, needless to say, that old baby's running smoothly. There's a few hiccups. You can't play HD videos on YouTube because the codec is not included, and it's not coded for the graphic chipset, so it won't work. You can play
the WebM codec, or is it just the
.264 codec? So you can't play them. You just need to drop down below 720p, and you'll be fine. Another thing I noticed is, actually, no, the camera's now working. I figured out that the app that's loaded by default, the default Google camera app, does not work. If you load any other camera app, it works perfectly fine. And there was one more thing: is to get it to load onto your laptop, you specifically need to be onto an ext4 partition. Even though if you install the OS, it will actually try to install into ext2 partition with Grub Legacy, and Grub Legacy doesn't support ext4. So if you're doing the installation, you have to actually install Ubuntu first, create 2 partitions, then install your Android, and then add Android to your bootloader. It's the only way you'll be able to get it to that. The point of doing that, Sylvain, is using Android on your laptop.
Okay. But you're not really gaining anything. It's just sort of the kick of it?
No, you're actually gaining the fact that you can have all your applications running at all at the same time and all into multiple windows. And there's absolutely no slowdown between moving one from another. There's no slowdown whatsoever.
And to be honest with you, I was thinking about that. I mean, I tried doing Chromium and the early versions of Android on my netbooks, my little Asus EPCs. Maybe back in the day they had them. I think I just had like 2 or 3 kicking around the house. It'd be kind of nice. I mean, I could revive them and give them to my son to use, just for the fact that he wants to have browser or watch YouTube or
probably
whatever.
Could.
Slightly bigger screen than his not much bigger, but slightly bigger screen than his Note 2 right now. So it's kind of cool. That just what you can do with it, right? So.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's just one of the things that you needed for it to load properly is just having a properly compiled kernel, which was a pain in the ass.
Cool. All right. Now, what's not a pain in the ass, and is just as fun as putting Android on a laptop, is our giveaway.
Our giveaway contest, which is the HTC One M9 from Rogers. Rogers is sponsoring this giveaway, and a lucky winner will be winning this nice new phone, which Brian has a demo in his hand, which he's been playing with. He's been toying around with it.
It's really nice.
He's been
Good to know.
enticing me, and I have this one here, which I haven't played with, and I so wish I could.
I think you should be able to. I think you should just be able to play with it just a little bit.
Contest details should be posted online right about now, so if anybody wants to take a look at the contest, it's going to be the first post you're going to see online, and it's live now, so anybody that wants to check the giveaway, we have it live. Follow the details, follow the instructions, and we'll include you in the giveaway. Miss one step and we'll definitely disqualify you.
Okay, so before we get into the contest giveaway, let's just talk about today we had an update to the camera. About the firmware update to the camera.
The OTA updated the camera, that's true. HTC released an OTA update for the camera, brought in some enhancements of the camera. I believe, if I remember correctly, it reduced the CPU usage as well, so it doesn't overheat for when you're using the camera app. And Rogers did confirm that the OTA did go out to their devices as well.
I just got it now. Just rebooted now.
Sweet.
I don't know if I don't notice any difference, to be honest with you. I mean, I haven't really good played with it that much to really give it that much of a thought to it. But yeah, so the update was big, just basically for the camera features. So I mean, it seems to be pretty nice. The selfie camera is the biggest thing on this one, right? The HTC M9 has the Ultra Pickles. If you remember Tom's comment.
Yep.
The Ultra Pickles camera right in the front. And so with that, we want to know, what are you going to do with an Ultra Pixel selfie camera? So to enter the contest, if you're reading the page right now, to enter the contest, you're going to have to do what, Martin?
To enter the contest, you'll need to follow a few steps, and the contest details applies only to Canadian residents only. Sorry for everybody else, but unfortunately it's for Canada. You'll need to retweet about the giveaway using the @RogersBuzz and @Android Coliseum. Your tweet will need to tell us why you deserve this phone. Then you need to add yourself a silly selfie and show us your non-Ultra Pixel camera. Share the giveaway on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter with the hashtag Android Coliseum and RogersBuzz. And then you need to follow us back on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. And definitely don't forget to follow Rogers back.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things, don't send any nudes on Twitter, please. We'll have a separate account for that if you wanted to. But anyways, definitely you guys post publicly, right, so that we can make sure that we can see it. Because the way we're going to track this is we're just going to track that with the Android Coliseum hashtag, and make sure that the hashtag has to be there with RogersBuzz as well. And we're going to look through those, make sure there's a nice selfie. You can put a silly selfie. You can make some sort of comment about, I need a better camera, selfie camera because it's too dark in here, and the Ultra Pixel will help, or some little comment like that. Now, if you don't win the HTC One M9, don't feel so bad. HTC has actually stepped in and provided a second giveaway, and they're going to give away a messenger bag, a little notebook, pad, paper, and what was it, an umbrella? An umbrella as well. So we have a secondary prize to give away for those of you, for one person who doesn't win the HTC M9, you can win the secondary prize. And we really want to thank Rogers for this giveaway. This is, we've, in the 2 years plus years we've been doing this vlog, we haven't really given many phones away. So we really appreciate being able to give that opportunity. So
definitely great. Thank you for Rogers. They've been a great supporter so far.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's our show for the day. Definitely with the half-hour mark. So do look for us. We're going to have an HTC One M9 update and review in the next couple of while. When are we going to run the contest till? Actually, do we talk about that?
The contest is running till Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
So we will inform the winner who is at the next show next week.
Or hopefully we'll be able to tell people during the Hangout next week who the winner is. Yeah,
I mean we should know by the midnight and the day before, and so hopefully the idea being is that if we tell you you're the winner, you have to get back to us soon. We might have to redraw, so we'll have to come up with some rules on that.
We'll be very nice. We'll give you a 24-hour period of time to get back to us before we redraw.
So don't do like Ryan did.
I know that was like 3 days.
Yeah, and you waited for someone else to tell you won.
I know. So
we'll post it. We'll even tag the person that wins. So if you do win, you'll know because you should get a notification.
Yeah, so check your DMs if you're not big on Twitter.
If you
Check
leave
your
your
DMs.
phone number, we'll call you.
Direct message, your Twitter notification, your Google Plus account, even your Facebook if you're going on there.
If
We'll
we can
message
find
you
all
everywhere
that.
we can.
If we can find out. Anyways, so we will have a review on the HTC One M9 in the next little bit, obviously in anticipation of the giveaway. But we also have a review on the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now, here's the funny part about the Galaxy S6. I have one upstairs, and I've been working on it, and I'm really liking it. I love how TouchWiz is so much less now. The camera is awesome. It's got a really bunch of cool features. But I just got today a notice saying I have to send back the phone. Apparently, the devices they send out to us for review are pre-production units. So therefore, it came with an early build, and they have the official factory update ready to be applied to these pre-production units. I have to send mine back because they don't want any bugs, getting out there apparently, or have the bugs affect my review, etc. So I have to send it back, and so I'm hoping that it can come back to me soon so I can finish that review for you guys as well. But anyways, that's the show. If there's anything you would like us to review or news that you find interesting, by all means, please let us know. Continue this conversation on Google+, Twitter, Facebook. I believe now Sivan had set up a Pinterest account for us at one time. So by all means, follow us any of those places and continue our conversation. We really appreciate all our readers. It's only because of readers like you guys that's tune in and continue to comment that we get the traction from Rogers to be able to give these giveaways away, and we appreciate that. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys all next week. You guys want to say goodnight?
All right, guys, you have a good night, and hopefully somebody we know will win.
That would be great. Hopefully nobody just in Ottawa, so it saves Martin the chance of having to actually just walk down the street and hand it over.
That would be funny. Ottawa, Montreal, close by,
Somebody easy, yeah. If it's really, we should do like a road trip. We should get like a bunch of devices, and we should do like a road trip and give them away.
Yeah,
there you go.
That'd be really awesome.
It would.
So keep hitting the plus buttons and following and likes and on our website so we can get bigger and bigger, and then we can get those big giveaways. That'd be awesome. We can do a big cross-Canada road trip.
We want to be able to do more, and the only way we can do more is if we have more people requesting them, tagging us, posting, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody. We love you, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.
Have a good night.
See ya.